What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at the all-new 2021 Audi RS e-tron GT, the electric saloon, the electric sports sedan by Audi. Of course, it's basically a Porsche Taycan, but we're going to see today if it feels any different and how this Audi stacks up against the Porsche Taycan, which we absolutely love. So today I'm going to show you around it. I'm going to show you the spec we've got it in, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. And if you enjoy the video, do me a favor and leave a like, because it really helps us out with the algorithm. Now, the RS e-tron is a very wide car. Wide, not white. It is Suzuka gray, this car, which is super light gray. But it's very wide. It looks like, I don't know, it sort of looks like an A7, but a bit wider with an e-tron front. I'm not sure about the look of it. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I think it looks like a broad-billed frog. You know, one of those frogs that's like super stretched out and low and wide. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't think it's ugly per se, but I don't think it's pretty. Now we've got the Audi Matrix laser whatever lights, the super fancy ones, with a cool animation, of course. We've got a front with a lot of black in there. Now the RS e-trons I've seen so far all had the bumper painted in the body color. This has the full black grille. I'm not sure which I like better. I think I liked it better when the bumper was body color, because it looks kind of futuristic. Down there we've got some more, you know, sporty stuff going on. This of course is the RS model, so it should be the most sporty one. These are the optional 21-inch wheels, two 65 section tires at the front, 305s at the rear, and it has this blade design, which does look pretty cool. Behind that, as you can see, we've got carbon ceramic brakes, optional, which is super nice to have, because it's quite a heavy car, over 2,300 kilos. It's nice to have that insurance, because it's hella fast and hella heavy. So yeah, it's good to have those brakes there. Even has an RS logo on the wheel there. That's new. So we've got some charge ports on the right and on the left. This is the fast charge port on the right. It's the same as with the Taycan, even though it has a regular like cover. You don't have that swipe to open cover, which is super cool on the Taycan. A little bit of a wide body here with a vent, which looks pretty cool. And I have to say that the creases on this car, they're quite sharp, and there are a lot of them, which it does make it feel and look quite futuristic. I do quite like that. Like this line right here with a double crease, it all looks really cool. Now we've got a glass roof, which I think is standard on the e-tron, but you can also go for a carbon fiber roof, which is cool. And at the rear we've got the big LED light bar with those arrow lights. Now let me see what happens. Oh, that's a different car. Let me see what happens when I close it. Now we don't get the animation now, but you know the animation where they go on and then they separately go off and whatever. RS badge on the rear with an e-tron GT badge and a little bit of a diffuser. Pretty nice. Okay, so anyway, I don't know where to open that thing, but it's got 85 liters of storage at the front as well. Now, on the interior, there are a few things I like and a few things I don't like. So let's start with the things I like. I like the fact that they ditched the screen down here. So, as you know, the A6, A7, A8, Q7, all the new Audis have this like 2-screen setup with all your climate stuff in here, and it's way too complicated, and I don't like the fact that you always have to look at what you're doing. I just want buttons. So buttons are back. I don't know why, because this is the most futuristic car you would put it on, but they decided to go old school with regular climate control buttons, and we've got this like iPod wheel, which you can use to operate the audio. Don't know why that had to change all of a sudden again, but anyway, they will never stop with reinventing stuff that doesn't need reinvention. Just have a knob, it's way better. So on the interior we've got piano black accents and a lot of carbon fiber here on the dash. Little illuminated e-tron badge there, which is pretty cool. Alcantara on top of the dials and on the center console as well. Little storage down there. And the shape is pretty futuristic with all those lines and those textures in there. Yeah, it's not bad. I do think it could have been more exciting. It's a bit dull sometimes, like this could also be in an A1 or something like that. But I guess I should forgive them for that because I've got my buttons back, so I won't complain about that. We've even got ventilated seats as well, which is nice. And an Alcantara steering wheel with the RS badge right there. So on the inside, it's definitely a different car compared to a Porsche Taycan. And well, underneath, it's basically the same. So we've got the same J1 platform with the air suspension setup. So that came from Bentley and Porsche, from the Panamera, then to the Taycan, now to the RS e-tron. But the setup is a bit more comfortable, so it should be a bit more GT-ish. And we've got a 93 kilowatt hour battery. Now this is the RS model, so that means that's the most powerful one. 646 horsepower and 830 newton meters of torque in overboost. Regularly it's 598. So it is quite powerful, not as powerful as the Porsche Taycan Turbo, because that has 680 and the Turbo S has 761. So it's just below that. Now let's find out what it's like to drive. I think it was already turned on when I got in, yeah. Okay, so we'll turn that on. Now if we switch to dynamic mode, do we already get the sound? No. Okay, so we do have fake sound. There are a couple of speakers in here, two in here, two outside, that generate fake sound, but it definitely sounds different from the Porsche, so we're going to test that as well. Alright, so we've got the gear selector down here. That's when the sound turns on. I don't know if that's just cooling. Yeah, okay. And we also have the four-wheel steering, just checking. So that's optional as well. Same as the carbon ceramics. Both are options I would definitely go for, because the four-wheel steering shrinks the car, makes it much more easy to handle in cities, and the carbon ceramics are just delicious. Now, a very smart trick in this car is that the first bit of your brake pedal, so when I brake now, the first 0.3 G's of retardation, so slowing down, is just recovery, energy recovery. So you're not actually using the brakes, which I thought was very clever. And I'm not sure if Porsche uses that as well, because I've never heard of it or read about it. But this car has that, and I think that's very smart, because that means that you're actually not using the brakes when you just want to slow down a little bit. So, launch control, dynamic mode, foot on the brake, full throttle. Oh man, that is intense. And that's also a very good way for me to demonstrate that we've got a gear. I don't know if you heard that, but as with the Porsche, we've got that 800 volt architecture, which is much better than the standard 400 volt everyone else uses. And it means that energy can be discharged and charged much more quickly. So that means that there's better heat management. And if you combine that with a gear, the rear electric motor, so there are two, one at the front, one at the rear. The rear is the most powerful one, and there's also a gearbox with two gears back there, which is mainly used for acceleration. So the second gear you use when you drive around, the first gear you use when you want to do launch control, and is also used as sort of a kick down version of electric acceleration on the Autobahn or whatever. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility, but the sound, the fake sound, that was a weird sound as well. The fake sound we've got, I quite like it. It's a bit deeper than the Porsche. Oh man, this thing is freaking quick. So we actually measured the 0 to 100, of course. Audi says it should do 3.3. We've been able to do 3.2. So that is pretty insane. And as with the Porsche, you have that overboost power. So 646 is an overboost with launch control. If you do a regular start from 0 to 100, so without launch control with the 598 horsepower, it did 3.4 seconds. So there's definitely quite a big difference there. But I mean, there's a lot that we were expecting from this car, but the performance is better than expected. I mean, yes, we knew the air suspension, the platform, the chassis was all going to be amazing since it came from Porsche, and we love the Taycan. But this one is a bit more comfortable. There's a bit more roll in the body, which makes it more comfortable and a bit more suitable for regular driving. I think the Porsche feels a bit better because it feels stiffer, and it also has the 48 volt anti-roll stabilization, which this car doesn't have. But performance wise, this car is outperforming itself, because it's not supposed to be this quick. It's not supposed to be this close to a Porsche Taycan Turbo S, which we measured from 100 to 200 at 7.19. This car did a 7.31. So that is just over 1/10 of a second slower, which it's not supposed to be that quick, I think. It's supposed to be close to a turbo, not a Turbo S. So yeah, it's definitely performing there. The thing goes around corners like, I mean, that's the benefit of these cars with that battery pack in the floor. The center of gravity is so low that it just feels like it's on rails, and it's just very clever. And of course, the benefit of this 800 volt electrical system is that, as I said, discharge can be done much quicker, and it means that you don't have the heat issues or overheat issues that Teslas have. So this is 175 kilometers an hour flooring it, still goes and has no problem maintaining the acceleration, maintaining the performance for longer periods of time. For example, on the Autobahn, and that's how these cars separate themselves from the Teslas. Yes, the Teslas have better range, better performance, but they can't do what these cars can do. They overheat after one run, or during the first run basically. And this car is made to do this a lot. Of course, we haven't driven the new Tesla Model S Plaid, which is supposed to be, you know, crazy and the craziest thing Tesla has done up to now. So maybe they fixed the problems as well with that car. We're going to find out in the future when it finally gets here. But for now, the Taycan and the Audi RS e-tron are in a league of their own when it comes to doing stuff like this. Should you go for a Taycan or an RS e-tron? Well, I guess it just depends on your preference. They are so close in performance, in technique, that it really doesn't matter. It is up to you if you like this Audi RS stuff more, or if you like the Porsche stuff more. I think the Taycan handles a bit better, and it just feels, I just like the feel of a Porsche better than I like the feel of an Audi, but that's entirely up to you. I haven't talked about range yet, weirdly enough. So the regular e-tron GT has a range of like 485 kilometers. This is 470, something like that. So that's pretty decent. The only thing is, the Porsche, of course, you can get that as the Cross Turismo, the cool station wagon off-roady version. which I personally think is super cool. There are no plans for an RS e-tron Avant or something like that, so like an RS6 competitor but electric. I haven't heard anything about it, haven't read it, Audi hasn't confirmed it, so it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, which is a shame. It would be very cool to see Audi do a fast electric station wagon, because it's really in their blood, you know. The RS6, the RS4, the RS2 are all legendary Audis, and part of the legendary status has been derived from the fact that it is a station wagon, that it is an Avant. So it would be really cool if they could maybe do like an RS2-ish nod to the past with this e-tron. But other than that, absolutely great car, surprised me, surprised us, especially when it comes to performance. It's super comfy, super quiet, super quick, and super wide. So thanks for watching. I'm going to end it here. Fun is over. As always, you can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video of a Porsche Taycan Turbo S, or you can check out this playlist of reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.